Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, celebrating one of the most iconic superheroes known out there in the comic book world, and we're doing Bat Week. That's right, fans, and today we're going to be talking about Batman: Death in the Family. That's right, guys, we're talking about chapters 1 and 2, which actually take place in Batman issue number 426. That's right, fans. This book is written by Jim Starlin, and the penciler is done by Jim Aparo. This book was written back in 1988. That's, of course, yes, when the story took place. And we can see here, this is off of the trade, so it's not in in the original newspaper print form, but the artwork is really cool. You can see the colors really pop in the trade. You get to see a lot of action right from the beginning with Robin, Jason Todd, and Bruce, and a lot of dialogue, but that's expected back in those, in the 80s. Produced a really good story in these first couple of chapters to get things going here in the book. We get to see Joker, classic Joker, just love the very narrow face and the huge grin. Loved it in here, and yeah, there was a lot of great pages to look at. Some good pages with the Batmobile in there, Batman with his long cape, and so artistically wise, I thought it was a really good book, but especially back for 1988. So being that I'm new to reading all these old Batman stories and that I've only read New 52 stuff, what did I think about this introduction to this book? First, we recap a little bit of the story. If you guys already know this, obviously, in the beginning of the story, Jason Todd is fighting alongside with Batman, and we can see that he's very angry. There's things going on with him. He's very aggressive, and Batman gets pissed off at him in the beginning and goes, and he goes, what the devil? What was that all about? Didn't I tell you to hold up? And he's all pissed off at Robin, and but Robin is angry because he misses his parents. His parents recently died, and Bruce, to protect Jason, is kind of putting him on inactive duty at this particular time because he feels like he's kind of a loose cannon. At the same time, we find out that Joker, yes, he escapes again from Arkham, and what happens is you get to see a cool page here with like a whole bunch of dead bodies on the floor, and you can see that people died with that grin on their face. And what happens is the Joker meets up with Rupert, and they wind up he has to make some money because all his money is gone, so he has to sell this nuclear missile or warhead to the Middle East. So him and Rupert plan this trip to go on to the Middle East together, which is kind of funny, It's just like, wow, I didn't expect, the Joker to go travel to the Middle East. So at the same time, Jason's just walking down the street one day. He goes back to his old neighborhood. He finds a neighbor of his, and I think her name was Mrs. Walker. And so what happens is, in case Jason came back, she had a whole bunch of his stuff. And so conveniently enough, Jason finds out that his mother's name starts with an S, and it's not Catherine. So right away, this puts a lot of enthusiasm in him. His spirits are up because he feels that his mother is not dead. And so what happens is he goes into the Batcave and he does some investigating. He takes some of Bruce's credit cards and he finds out 3 names that could be his mother, and he travels to the Middle East. Well, at the same time, Bruce is made to have a decision. Do I go after the Joker or do I go after Jason? Well, he feels like the Joker is more important because he's carrying a nuclear warhead and can destroy something. So he goes after the Joker. But conveniently enough, Batman and Jason wind up in the same place, and they wind up meeting up with each other, and the people that they're looking for wind up being intertwined with each other because one lady that Jason was looking for was a particular spy, which was her right here, and then the other one was Peter Brando, which was like his girlfriend, but she was deep undercover at the whole time. which I thought was just conveniently enough. After a failed attempt of Joker, you know, selling this warhead, or he does sell it, but it blows up in their face. His money gets burned to a crisp. He winds up escaping, and Jason and Batman, or Bruce, wind up working together to try to find Jason's mother, because this particular woman was not his mom. And then at the end, you wind up seeing Joker disguising himself, and he's going to Ethiopia. So, and that's the end of, book 1, chapters 1 and 2 of Death in the Family. What did I think about this story? The beginning of the story is a lot of setup. We get to see, again, Jason travel, and we get to see Batman do his thing against the Joker. And I like how he has such tenacity, Jason Todd, to try to find his parents in this one. I think that, if you were in the same situation, you would go whatever length to find your parents too if you thought that they were dead. Obviously, you can tell that the book is a little dated, just to the fact being that, if you were looking in today's world, you would look on the internet and find your family name and you could look it up. But there was no computers back then. And you get to see the long-range satellite radio that Bruce uses to, get a hold of Alfred. And it's just funny. But I love seeing, that classic Joker, those classic drawings. And again, this story was mainly a setup. You get to see Robin's MO here. So what is Joker's mission now? Where's he going? Why is he going to Ethiopia? I'm not sure yet, but I like seeing this little quest that Jason Todd set up for himself, and Bruce Wayne winds up coming to his side at the end, because again, that's, he's a father figure to him, and he wants to be there for his son. But at the same time, you got to see where his priority was in the beginning by trying to capture the Joker. So I like this. It's a good setup book. It was a little slow at times, but I'm sure as this goes along, it's going to get much, much better. So after reading this first chapters of Death in the Family, I'm going to give this one a 3.75 out of 5 stars, and I'm sure it's going to get much better as time goes along. So guys, in the comments below, tell me what you thought of Death in the Family. Is this one of your hierarchy stories when it comes to Batman? What's your favorite Batman stories? And if you can give me some advice without, or give me some tips on this story without spoiling it, if it does get better or not, but I'm going to see it through. So guys, hopefully you're enjoying Bat Week here on Comic Book Corner 2.0, and as always, fans, thank you for watching, and until the next Batman review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing out. Take care, guys. See you real soon.